Hello. Welcome to Hiromi Voice in English. This is Hiromi. Thank you so much for coming. Today, I am going to talk about dating and marriage in Japan. The theme is how has the way people meet partners in Japan changed? People in Japan meet in many different ways. Some people meet at school, at work, through friends, on dating apps. But if we look at bigger picture, the way people meet partners in Japan has changed a lot over time. In the past, many people did not find a marriage partner completely by themselves. Family members, relatives, people in the local community, bosses at work, and matchmakers sometimes helped arrange marriages. Then, little by little, Japan moved into an era where people met more naturally through school, work, and friends. After that, group dating called Gokon and matching apps became more common. But in Japan today, while people have more freedom in how they meet someone, there are also new problems. Can I trust this person? Are they really single? Are they serious about dating or marriage? Is this a safe way to meet someone? Something like that. Today, I would like to explain how dating and marriage in Japan have changed and what kinds of issues people are focusing on. Let's begin. In the past, especially before World War II, many people in Japan did not find a marriage partner completely by themselves. Their family, relatives, people in the local community, or a matchmaker often helps arrange the marriage. In Japanese, this kind of a matchmaker is called nakodo. A nakodo was not always professional role. Often it was someone both families trusted, such as a relative, a neighbor, a respected person in the community, or sometimes a boss at work. The nakodo helped connect the men and women, and sometimes also connected to their families. For younger Japanese people today, this may not feel very familiar. But in the past, it was quite common for matchmakers and older adults around the couple to support marriage. According to data from Japan's National Institute of Population and Social Security Research, in the 1930s, about 70% of marriages between first-time married couples were arranged marriages. Love marriages were much less common, at only around 13%. Still, the data clearly shows that arranged marriage was the main form of marriage in Japan before the war. Even after the war, arranged marriages were still common. In the early 1950s, more than half of marriages were still arranged marriages. But after that, love marriages gradually increased. By the late 1960s, love marriages became more common than arranged marriages. So Japan changed from a society where marriage was often supported by families and communities to a society where people were expected to find their partner by themselves. You could say this gave people more freedom. But at the same time, it also meant people had to search for a partner on their own. As arranged marriages decreased and love marriages became the mainstream, the places where people met also changed. Schools, workplaces, and introductions through friends became very important. At school, people might meet the same class, the same club, or the same university circle. At work, people might get to know each other as co-workers or seniors or juniors. Through friends, people could meet someone who was not a complete stranger because they had a mutual connection. These kinds of meetings have a certain sense of safety in Japan. Why? Because the other person is not completely unknown. You see them many times, you talk little by little, you observe their personality, you can also see how they behave around other people. And through that process, a relationship may slowly become romantic. In Japan, many people feel more comfortable with this kind of slow and natural relationship, rather than being approached strongly by a complete stranger. Even today, schools, workplaces, and introductions through friends are still important ways to meet someone in Japan. But the situation is changing. These familiar community-based ways of meeting still exist, but compared to the past, they may not always lead to romance as naturally or as easily as before. Workplace romance still exists in Japan. Some people still meet their husband or wife at work. Actually, I met my husband at work too. When we work with someone, you can see many sides of that person, right? You can see if they are responsible. You can see if they are kind. You can see how they treat other people. Sometimes trust develops through work, and that trust slowly becomes romantic interest. But in Japan today, I think more people are careful about starting to romance at work. For example, if you confess your feelings and other people says no, it may become awkward to keep working in the same place. Some people may worry, what if I make the other person uncomfortable? Also, awareness of harassment. Much higher than before. Especially in the workplace, there may be differences in position or power. So even if one person thinks they are just casually inviting someone out, the other person may feel pressure. Because of this, I think it has become harder than before to casually approach someone at work. Also, in recent years of the pandemic, Remote work, and online meetings have become more common. Of course, not everyone works remotely, but when online meetings increase and casual conversations or company drinking party or casual lunch or something like that decrease, there are fewer chances to naturally become close to someone at work. Even if people work for the same company, they may not really know each other very well. So, workplace romance has not disappeared, but compared to the past, I think people are more careful, and it may be more harder for romance to begin naturally at work. Next, let's talk about gokon. Have you ever heard this word? Gokon. Gokon is one unique culture in Japan. It's dating culture. Simply put, it is like a group date where men and women meet for dinner or izakaya. For example, 3 men and 3 women might go to an izakaya together and talk while eating and drinking. Friends gather the members, and people who are meeting for the first time get a chance to talk. Because it is not one-on-one, it can feel more casual and easier to join. Especially in the 1990s and 2000s, gokon was a very well-known way to meet someone in Japan. It often appeared in dramas, mangas, and variety shows. Many people had the image that if you wanted a boyfriend or girlfriend, you might go to gokon. But for younger people today, gokon may not be as central as it used to be. Some people do not like gathering in big groups. Some people do not enjoy drinking parties. And after the pandemic, the habit of gathering in large groups, as well as drinking party culture itself, seems to have become weaker. Of course, gokon still exists, but compared to the past, I think it has lost some of its presence as a major way to meet someone. And now, one of the most visible ways to meet someone in Japan and in modern Japan is through dating apps. In English, people usually say dating apps, right? But in Japan, we call it matching apps. This word is very common. In Japan, matching apps became more visible in Japan during the 2010s. At first, some people still feel nervous or uncomfortable about meeting someone online. But by the late 2010s, many people were already using matching apps to date, start relationships, and even get married. Actually, I tried a matching app once. It was around 2017. It's almost 10 years ago. But I stopped using it after only 3 days. Maybe I was not very good at online dating, though. In the 2020s, matching apps became even more common. The market for online dating and marriage matching services in Japan was already large in 2021, and it was expected to grow even more by 2026. So today, matching apps are no longer a rare or unusual way to meet someone. Japan now has many matching apps. It is hard to exact number, but some comparison sites introduce around 15 to 30 different apps. Some are for casual dating, some are for serious dating, some are for marriage, and some are for remarriage or older age groups. So, matching apps have become a big and very diverse market in Japan. Some people use matching apps seriously. Some people start real relationships through them. And some people even get married after meeting on a matching app. Recent surveys have shown that among couples who got married within the past year, matching apps were one of the most common ways they met. So in Japan, matching apps are not just a place for casual dating. They have become a realistic way to meet someone, especially for people who don't have many chances to meet someone at school or at work. Apps can be a big option. However, matching apps also have problems. First, at the beginning, you do not really know if the person is exactly who they say they are. Are they really single? Are they really looking for a serious relationship? Are they thinking about marriage? Or are they only looking for something casual? It can be difficult to judge from a profile or a few messages. Also, in recent years, romance scams and investment scams have become a serious social problems in Japan. Sometimes someone meets a person through a matching app or social media. At first, the person is really kind. They build romantic feelings and trust. Then, little by little, they may move the conversation to another app. After that, they may start talking about investments, cryptocurrency, side businesses or online businesses, opportunities or something like that. And through these methods, people are tricked into sending money. The National Police Agency in Japan has warned people about SNS-based investment scams and romance scams. According to the National Police Agency, as of the end of November 2025, which is last year, the total damage from SNS-based investment scams and romance scams in Japan was over 155 billion yen, which is about $1 billion. That's huge. Among romance scams, cases that started through matching apps were especially noticeable. Of course, this does not mean that all matching apps are dangerous. Many people use them seriously. Some people find happy relationships and marriages through them. But while matching apps have made it easier to meet people, they have also made it more difficult to judge who you can trust. I think this is one reality of modern dating apps in Japan. This program is a really serious social program in Japan. Because of these issues, some people who are seriously thinking about marriage choose marriage agencies. A marriage agency is not just a place to find a boyfriend or girlfriend. It is a place to find a marriage partner. In Japanese, we have the word konkatsu. Konkatsu. Konkatsu means activities to find marriage partner. Matching apps are easy to start and convenient, but sometimes it is hard to know how serious the other person is. Do they really want marriage? Is their profile true? Are they meeting many other people at the same time? Are they really single? Some people feel anxious about these things, right? On the other hand, at many marriage agencies, people may need to submit documents such as a proof that they are single or proof income. At first. Of course, it depends on the service, but in general, marriage agencies are often seen as having stronger identity checks than matching apps. And people there are usually more serious about marriage. Also, they need to pay, Recently, there is also data from a major marriage agency company showing that more younger people are using marriage agencies. According to IBJ, a major marriage agency company in Japan, the number of younger members has been increasing, and in recent years, people in their 20s have become a more noticeable group in the marriage agency market. Wow. One reason may be that while meeting through matching apps has become normal, some people still want to meet someone who is serious about marriage from the beginning. Also, they do not want to take much more time. In other words, because dating has become more free, some people are now looking for more reliable and a certain way to meet someone. So far, we looked at how dating and marriage in Japan have changed. In the past, matchmakers, family members, local communities, bosses help to support marriage. Then love marriages become the mainstream, and people started meeting through communities such as school, work, and friends. After that, cultures like gokon become popular as a way to intentionally meet somebody. And now many people use matching apps to search for a partner by themselves. The way people meet has become much more free. Yes, free is good, but that freedom is not only positive. Unlike in the past, people around you do not always introduce someone to you. Romance does not always start naturally at school or work. Gokon is no longer as central as it used to be. And while matching apps allow you to meet many people, you also have to judge the other person by yourself. You also need to take action by yourself. Compared to the past, I think dating now requires more effort. Of course, it can be fun and free, which is good, But modern dating is not just about meeting someone. People may need the ability to judge who they can trust, move a relationship forward, and protect themselves. Alright, so today I talked about how the people meet partners in Japan has changed. How was it? Did you like it? And how was it in your country? I will be glad if you let me know in the comment. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this type of video, please subscribe to my channel. I hope to see you again in the next video. お疲れ様でした。おやすみなさい。Okay. Noisy, we say うるさい。うるさいよ。うるさいよ。You can also see how they behave around their. You can also see how they behave around their. You can also see. You can also see how they behave around Allah. However,